Parak Kuf Mem Gimel. We have only a number of chapters left to complete the book of Tehillim. Mizmor LeDavid. Adonai Shema Tefilati Ha'azina El Tachanunai Be'emunatcha Aneni B'tzidkatecha. So a Psalm of David. God, hear my prayer. Give ear. Right? We I can hear your prayers. What David is saying here. Come closer to me, and then why should you do that? Because your emunah, your faithfulness, you answer me. You have showed tzedakah, righteousness, beneficence. And he continues here in Psalm 143. V'al tavo b'mishpat et avdecha, ki lo yitztak lefanecha kol chai. And answer me, saying in the first verse, he said, answer me with emunah, with tzedakah, right? With show me, go beyond the letter of the law. Because if you just judge me based upon a rational judgment, even though I am your servant, who will be able to be proven victorious in front of you? No creature will be able to be found victorious. You have to show me an extra layer of chesed, an extra layer of kindness. And these words, ki lo yitztak lefanecha kol chai, are used in the slichot. They're used in the liturgy around the New Year, around Rosh Hashanah, because we say, how can we possibly pass you in judgment, God? It's not something that is possible for us to do. Okay, so God, judge me, but when you judge me, don't judge me regularly, judge me with a sense of kindness. Why? What's been so bad? Come and judge me, God, so that I can be righteous, so therefore you can protect me, is what David's saying. Why do I need you to intervene? Because I'm being, my enemy is hounding me, running after me. He crushes me to the ground. I'm dwelling in darkness like those who are metim, like those who are dead. Vatitaleif alai ruchi betochi yishtomem libi. My spirit fails me. My mind is numb. My mind is numb. We've had this word vatitaleif alai ruchi in different places. It's also language that's used earlier. It's language that's used by Yonah. Right, my spirit has failed me. I am covered. Lehitatef. You know the bracha when you put on your talit is lehitatef batzitzit, that you enwrap. David is enwrapped. His spirit is enwrapped. Failed is, I think, is not enough to describe when we think of that word ituf and what it. He's completely covered by the horrors. Zacharti, excuse me. Pasukei yamim mikedem higiti b'chol poalecha b'masei yadecha. But what happened when I was in that horror, in that worried and covered, completely covered like a person, right? You think he talked about those who are dead, and then he's completely covered like those in the grave are covered. Then I remembered the early days. And I spoke to myself, all of your deeds, God. I thought about all of the things that you had done. I counted them. I listed them on my hands, all the things that you have done. And then in verse 6, Peirasti yadai elecha. I lifted up my hands to you, nafshi ke'eretz ayefa lecha sela. I stretched out my hands to you. I was longing for you like the earth that is ayef, that is dry, that is parched, that is thirsty. I just know if I lift up my hands to you, God, again, this image, the dead, the earth, right? The parched earth, but now, he said he felt like he was a person who was kimetei olam, where you can't reach up. And now he's reaching up with his hands. And he's waiting, like the earth is waiting for rain from God. I am reaching up to you, God. And so we see a lot of the sort of the vision in this, and the metaphor and the language that's being used again. The dirt, the earth, etc., etc. Pasuk Zayin, Maher aneni Adonai kal taruchi al taster panecha mimeni v'nim shalti im your day bore. So answer me quickly, God. My spirit can endure no more. Don't hide your face from me, or I will become like those who descend into the pit, like the parched earth, the ones who are dead forever and will never be able to return to you. Hashmieni vaboker chastecha ki v'chava tachti. Hodieni derech zu elech ki elecha nasati nafshi. Let me learn of your faithfulness during the day, because I trust in you. Show me the derech, the road, that I must take, perhaps the road less traveled, because on you I give all of my hope. I don't know so much poetry, so when I can reference a poem, I feel a little less ignorant, right? The only one that everybody knows, every ignoramus knows Robert Frost. So right, and here we had a previous chapter that talked about, maybe it was a chapter at night when he talked about the Minchat Erev, the evening, and this is a chapter where it's the evening, it's darkness, it's in the grave, right? The death, the parched earth, the death. I feel like I'm in the Imyor Day Bor, and he's saying here, I'm looking for the light, that first light, that dawn, that hope. And that's what I'm waiting for you, God. I'm waiting for you to do that for me. Hatzileni me'oivai Adonai, elecha chisiti. Save me from my enemies, God. To you I look for cover. I look for you to protect me. Lamdeni la'asot ritzonecha ki ata Elohai ruchacha tova tancheni be'eretz mishor. And he asked God not only to save him and protect him, he also asks God, in a sense similar to previous chapter, we talked about, God, don't let me fall into the trap of the wicked. I'm surrounded by immoral people in chapter 139, and don't let me learn from them. God, come and save me, but also teach me how to do things right. You are my God, right? When you save me, don't just save me and let me walk, in a sense, in a moral blindness. I want to know how to live my life correctly. So, right, show me your graciousness, gracious spirit. Lead me be'eretz mishor. I don't want to just survive. I want to have a mission in life. I want to continue to impact this world in a moral, in an ethical, in a spiritual, in a mindful way. L'man shimcha Adonai techayeni b'tzidkatcha totzi mitzara nafshi. So for your sake, God, preserve me, because you are the righteous one, and you freed me from distress that for me. It's to be saved, God, from the enemies that are around him, but make sure that none of their behaviors have rubbed off on him. I don't want to just be alive on this earth. I want to be somebody who represents something, who has a mission, which represents, like God, we cannot stand to your mishpat, we cannot stand up to your judgment. We need tzedakah for me. We need going above and beyond the letter of the law in just right to be able to be seen. I want to know how to live my life in a righteous way as well. Allow me to follow in your ways. And the chapter ends. We talked about earlier that, right, he asked God way back in the earlier verses, in verse
I guess we lost Rabbi Gidler. Maybe he'll come back.
I think it was at the end, pretty much. So.
We only have one verse left, but I'm going to give him a minute and see if he gets back on. Do you by any chance know how Debbie Karish is doing?
You know, I saw an email that Ellen had a couple of days ago.
We had some internet failures here. So,
Debbie
sorry, I'm not sure what happened. Internet failures. So I'll come back. I was up to the last verse. I guess technology, the second day in a row, I'm messing up a recording. That's okay. So in the beginning of the chapter, he asked for God's emunan tzedakah in judging him. And here, in showing God's ways, he asked for God's tzedakah in verse 11. And in verse 12, he uses the word uvechastecha atzmit oivai va'avarti kol tzorai nafshi ki ani avdecha. So he uses a different word, not the word emunah, but the word chesed, as your kindness puts an end to my foes, destroys all my mortal enemies. because, and why will you do that to me, God? You will do that because I am your servant. So in a sense, David here asks God to help him, to protect him, then asks God to put him on the right path. And that putting him on the right path demonstrates that David is an Eved Hashem, is a follower of God, a servant of God. And because he is a servant of God, he deserves God's protection and God's saving. So it's a little circular, you could say, but the intention that he has here, save me, not just because I want to walk the earth like a numb person without any, I should be saved because I have a mission, because there's something that I need to do. There's something I can continue. I understand your moral vision for the world. I understand a world of ethics, a world of kindness, a world of equity, a world of decency. Show me that way. Protect me. Don't make it a regular judgment. And then I will pursue that. And one of the things that the chapter begins and ends with is this idea of the idea of the servant. David in the end says, Kiani Avdecha, and in the beginning of the chapter as well, in verse 2, right, he says, V'al tavo b'mishpat et avdecha. He describes himself as God's servant. And as a servant, I'm somebody who follows your ways, God, listens to your directions. There's not a slave, it's a servant. It's somebody, I almost said it's like a choice. I have a choice to be your Eved, God, to follow in the directions that you give me. So it's a chapter here with a lot of, David is in a difficult place, feeling like himself in the grave, in the dirt, all the way down in the hopeless, like the parched earth, but is able to reach up his hands to God, reach up his hands to the heavens in the hope of being saved, hope of being saved by God.